What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, hate is
That was pretty good timing. That was pretty. I could have done better. Probably could have done better, but it worked. What's up, everybody? I think I'm going to be one of those VR chat girls and not show my face anymore. Just get like a hot, sexy, I don't know, like Asian girl in a schoolgirl dress with a mask. I've obviously thought a lot about it. Like Linda Benda.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Rough day today. Got a lot going on. Yeah, just different things. Tomorrow's Ollie's birthday, so happy birthday to Ollie coming up. He'll probably be in bed tonight, but I'll see him tomorrow. So they got that going on. That's good. I did want to share this with you. So this is in response to that tweet that I was reading the other day. Some people are just out there, dude, out there. So this is Eric Daugherty, and it says, "Hey, Democrats, your first impulse in response to a deadly aircraft crash over the Potomac River is to find reasons to blame President Trump. It makes you a disgusting human being and exemplifies why the American people rejected your lunacy this past November. Adults are handling this. Shut the fuck up." And then I responded, I quote tweeted it and said, "Yeah, and it'd be really fucking wild if the sitting president called a press conference to blame the previous administration, actually 2 previous administrations, and shadowy DEI hires. But then when asked directly, so what caused the crash, have to admit we don't know." And then coming up with the absolute fucking zinger, the plane and the helicopter were in the same place at the same time. That's bad. I can't believe that anybody would think that that's... Who the fuck talks like that? If the helicopter and the airplane weren't in the same place at the same time, we wouldn't have a crash. It's literally the only way that they can crash into each other. But then we get this. Amy Methvin says, DEI is an enormous problem. Has nothing to do with my tweet. But then she says, but besides that, I'm guessing the sitting POTUS has way, way more information about what happened than you. I think she's smoking that Methvin. And I said, but he doesn't. Up until that point, they nor anyone else had any idea what happened, right? It was literally right after it happened. And they're just going to call a press conference to blame Biden, blame Obama, blame DEI, homosexual helicopters, whatever they were playing, right? I said, but he doesn't. Up until that point, they nor anyone else had any idea what happened. The investigation had just started. It was a disgusting fucking attempt to blame political opposition for no reason. She comes back with, time will tell, but he has the real intel. How do you know there weren't comms going on that were intercepted? Good question, I guess. What the fuck are you talking about? So I said, we have the air traffic audio. Honestly, are you retarded? She never came back to that. And I think that might have been it. I know there's another crash, or I saw there's another crash today. We have the audio. So basically, some of the conspiracy theorists are saying the UH... I knew that was coming. Actually, I predicted that. And the reason I predicted that was because a company at one of the military fucking like SHOT Show, but like the military industrial SHOT Show, right? Where they go to show off their shit, like SEMA, but for military products. they actually showed one. They had like a tablet and a screen, and they were flying it in Virginia, but they were actually flying it from a tablet, and they were showing how they were controlling it on the tablet and showing they had cameras recording it on the screen. So I knew that was fucking coming. If it's not DEI, then it's a planet. It's a plant, and it was fucking set up, right? We had secret comms. We had to take out the Russians. Let me grab this. Hold on. I just saw it. Here it is. Let me share this to myself. Give me just a second. We got a couple new angles of it. It doesn't make it any clearer. The angles don't, but the audio does. I think I know what happened in the audio. I think I know what the report's going to say. I think they were looking at... we'll listen to the audio in a minute, but basically what happened was the Black Hawk is flying under VFR, visual, right? Visual flight rules. They are looking where they're flying, okay? And that's how the military flies a lot of times, especially when they're going in on target or they're real low to the ground or whatever. What kills visual flight rules is you can only see so far. If there's clouds, if there's weather, if you're above the clouds, you can't use VFR. You have to be below the clouds. So even, let's say you got permission to fly VFR from like North Carolina to California at 10,000 feet. As soon as clouds block your line of sight to the ground, you either have to get clearance to come down below the clouds, or you no longer have authorization to fly unless you can get instrumentation, right, instead of visual. So basically, the helicopter's doing this right. Now, it has a hard altitude max, okay, of 200 feet. Of 200 feet. Do they always, or I guess it probably has a max of 300 feet. It has a recommended of 200 feet. As they're coming around, the air traffic controller says, PA, whatever his name was, they're like, PA 25, PT 25. They say, you got that CRJ coming in. They're coming into, let's look at the airport. It'll help me explain it, maybe. Okay. Here's the airport, right? There's the airport. So this, you see where it says the Pentagon? They're doing a training route that basically follows the Potomac. And you can see from their flight that they go in and out. They're doing their little training thing. They're under night vision goggles, and they're flying visual, right? So they have to be able to see everything. Plus, you got night vision goggles. With night vision goggles, you have zero peripheral vision. Why? Because you're using the night vision goggles, and they stick out from your face, right? If you had toilet paper tubes, even if they weren't night vision goggles, just imagine you had toilet paper tubes over your face, you have no peripheral vision either, because all you can see is down that tube. So you can't see anything side to side unless you turn your head completely. And as soon as you turn your head away, you lose it. There is no, like, looking out the side of your eye, peripheral vision. It just doesn't exist. Okay? They're doing their thing. They're flying back and forth. The airplane is coming to this red runway, 33. So it's also following the river, but it's making this bank a turn on final approach, coming in low for landing, right? Final approach. And they're flying instrumentation. Okay, and the instrumentation tell them how high off the ground they are, blah, 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 all that shit. It'll actually put them on the glide path. Like, pull up, you're too high, too slow, too fast. It'll tell, there's a voice in there that tells you what to do. And they have this perfect glide path that's programmed in their computer for coming down 33. The air traffic controller asks the Black Hawk, you see that regional jet, right? And the Black Hawk says yes. Confirmation. We have it. I'm asking for visual distancing or whatever, right? He's saying, I see it, and I don't want you to tell me continue course, blah, 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 at this altitude. I don't want that. I see it, and I want you to just give me visual separation. So what would happen if that was a plane? If it was a plane and not military, okay, if it's a plane and not military, the air traffic controller would say, hey, you got a CRJ coming up. I want you to go to 10,000 feet, hold pattern, whatever, right? At this direction, this azimuth, and we're going to go that way. But it's not. It's a helicopter, right? So he says to the helicopter, and military has a lot of leeway around a lot of stuff, but he says to him, do you see it? Helicopter says back, we see it, and we want visual separation. So the helicopter has taken all the responsibility now, right? All of it. We see it, and we're going to use visuals to stay away from it. And even though they've taken on the responsibility, and it's on them completely now, when they get a little bit closer and it looks like they're still coming, the air traffic controller again says, hey, you got that regional jet, right? And again, the helicopter pilot says, yeah, and we request visual separation. He says, okay. So again, they took the responsibility twice. I don't know who Trump will want to fucking hang on the gallows, but I don't think we're going to find anybody responsible for this in the seat that day. I'm not going to say, hey, we should have changed this training route 15 years ago or something stupid like that. But like anybody that was in their seat that day that actually works that job, I don't think we're going to find blame for anybody else. I know the air traffic controller was understaffed. He was working the military frequencies and helos plus fixed wing. He's working on both. It seems like that happens semi-often. Why do you think they ask for visual separation? Because that's how they qualify. They're on night vision goggles. That's how they qualify. They're being graded, right? That's part of it. That's part of their test, right? They're going to have to identify other aircraft, keep visual separation, follow the flight path. That's part of their thing. The only really curious thing that I find is when we're seeing it on the air traffic controller screen, the plane was at 300 feet. That's how they fly a lot of times when they're that close to the ground. I don't think, because the air traffic controller doesn't know their mission plan or what their requirements are to meet their certification, I don't think they wanted the air traffic controller to say, okay, I need you to maintain 320 feet at this heading and put it in a holding pattern and I'll call you back. And I don't think they wanted that instruction. So they're saying, we see it and we're going to handle it. We're just going to stay away from it. But the only weird thing is when we're watching it on the air traffic controller, and I'm assuming the answer we're going to get is like, this is when they saw the plane and fucked up. But their altitude is 200 and some feet. And then right before impact, it shoots up to 300. There's this weird thing when I looked into, I took a class about flying and pilot's license and danger. It's like I don't have my pilot's license. I never started, but it was like an intro thing to see if you're like into it and shit. It was a thing for high school. And they were talking about, I guess it would be visual angles. And they had us hold, what was it, a pencil? I can't remember. They had us hold something up. So I'm going to use my vape. So imagine this vape is an airplane, right? And you hold it out to the end of your arm as big as you can and see how big it is in your vision, right? Not how big it physically is, but how big it is in your vision. And it's not very big. I mean, I could see all around it. It doesn't take up much of my vision. And then you bring it half as close, right? So I've got my arm all the way extended. Then I bring it half as close. And it really didn't get that much bigger, right? It really didn't get that much bigger. I mean, it did get bigger, but it didn't get that much bigger. It doesn't take up like 90% of my vision. It probably went from taking up 3% of my vision to taking up, 8-9% of my vision. But it doesn't look like it got that much bigger. But then when you cover the other half, and it's like on top of you, it covers half your fucking vision, right? Or more. 70-80% of your vision. So almost all of the getting big is done in the last portion of whatever's coming at you, right? let's say you see a car on the interstate and you're in the desert where you see forever, and it's 1,000 meters away. It's going to be teeny tiny right on the horizon. When it comes to 500 meters, it's only going to be slightly bigger. But if it was 1 meter away from your eyeball, you couldn't see anything but the car. And it's the same way with planes. So I think what we're going to see is that in an attempt to do an evasive, what they were doing when they said they saw the regional jet was they actually saw a different jet, either that one behind it, because there was one right behind it. They were lining up everybody to come land. There was one right behind it with landing lights on as well. Or the one that had kind of just taken off and went around them. You can see it in the video. It's like going this way around them. It had taken off. So maybe they're confused with which one they're supposed to be looking at, and they're looking at the wrong jet. I don't think they ever had the jet that they hit as the one that they... I don't think in their heads they ever knew that's the one that I'm supposed to be looking at. And two, I think we'll see that at the very last moment when they realized what was going on, in an attempt to evade, they fucking went up. And maybe if they'd have dropped to the deck, maybe if they'd have went left, maybe if they went right, I mean, we can say maybes all day. But it seems like their altitude, like literally in the instant before it hits, like their altitude starts skyrocketing. So he just fucking pulled the collective and went to town, bud. Give it the beans. I don't know. I mean, I guess one thing you could do is you could put a safety lane, right? Because typically these helicopters aren't that big of a danger because they're at like 200, 300 feet. And airplanes are like at thousands of feet. It's only going to be in the approach and departure. So I guess one way that you could help fix this is you could cast off an angle, like a triangle from the end of the runways for approach and departure, cast those areas out, and just make those restrictive no matter who you are, no matter if you're the military, no matter if you're under visual flight or whatever, no matter who you are, you have to have confirmed permission and an altitude given to you to fly through there. So you need a direction, an altitude, and permission. So what would have happened if that would have been in place is he would have pulled up and stopped short of the area for runway 33 because we had a plane coming in. He would have held short, and he would have called dispatch and said, hey, holding short of the landing plane that you called out on runway 33. I need a direction, an altitude, a speed, so we can proceed when you get it. And then he would have said, okay, maintain 200 feet. You're going to go at time now, and go through there. Get through there as quick as you can. You got time, or you don't have time, or wait for this one to land, go behind it. And I even think in the audio, we hear him say something about go behind it. It's kind of stepped on, but let's start here. So again, there are two. So we see the bright ass lights of this plane. There are two planes there. There's one there, and then there's one like right behind it by a few thousand feet coming in and ready to land too. Not on 33, but land on the main runway. Whatever this blacked out one is here. This right here is close, like close enough when they turned up the saturation, or turned up the brightness or whatever, you can see it hit the water. Like you can see the shit falling out of the sky right here. You want to know what I think the most disrespectful thing that was said about it? The helicopter's definitely more agile. So if he was on his final approach coming in the airplane, he don't have a whole lot of options. Even if he gives it full speed, it takes a little bit for like engines to fucking to rev up, right? to get thrust, to build thrust. That's why a lot of times the planes don't land. If you've ever been on a plane, planes don't land where their engines are idle. The reason being is because there's such a big ramp up time from idle to full thrust. And if you have to do a pull around or a go around, right, and pull up, you're gonna give it full throttle, and it's still gonna be fucking just whirling up. It takes forever. So we use flaps and air brakes and certain angles of attack to come in to where the engines are still under power, even though the plane could shut off their engines and land. Right, it could shut them the fuck down, and as long as it's on the path, it knows the path, it knows what its glide ratio is, it could land. We still come in with them under throttle some. That way, if you have to do a go around, you don't have to wait. So the pilot in the jet was just kind of fucked. He was just kind of fucked. Like, I mean, if he would have pulled, let's say they're 100 meters away from each other, him pulling all the way back, one could cause a stall, but two, let's say him pulling all the way back without the engines at full thrust, right? They're basically at like mid thrust, so in case of a go around, he might have moved linearly. He might have went up like 5 or 6 feet. Like, he was just fucked. The most disrespectful thing, I think, was when they asked Trump if he was going to visit the crash site, and he's like, "What? What do you mean this crash site? No, you want me to go swimming?" Like, what the no. They meant like where the rescuers are working from or something like that. Here's another one. So the reason I found this video was because of, let's do this. What's the guy's name? Hank. I think Hank Green had a good response to some of these fucking idiots that are all about conspiracy theories. This one. And the comment says, "Come on, is there anyone here that doesn't believe Black Hawk went straight for the airline jet and fast? If anyone had time to correct, it would be the Black Hawk." As if it was intentional. Also, the fucking lunatics over on Twitter just found someone in the military that happens to be trans, that happens to have something about being a Black Hawk pilot in their resume, and they're already blaming this woman. She had to come out and do a proof of life video to prove it wasn't her. He could have said, "Do you see it at your 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock," or gave him a direction and distance at 238 degrees, blah, blah, blah. Something. He could have. Oh, no sound.
I don't know how many pilots are in a Black Hawk. I don't know. What I like to remember is that I have no idea how anything works, especially when I definitely have no idea how anything works. Like, I don't know how helicopters work. I don't know how planes work. I don't know how many pilots are in a Black Hawk. I don't know what the other person in the I don't know how many people can be carried in a Black Hawk. I don't know how air traffic control works. I don't know how flying a plane works. I desperately need you motherfuckers who liked this comment, the 22,000 of you. I need you to say to yourself, I don't have any idea how anything works. I just saw a video here on TikTok from a guy who was a pilot of Black Hawk helicopters who had flown that flight path over the Potomac many times before. And you know what his take was? A good one. It was a good take. Because he knew what he was talking about. You and I have no idea what the fuck is going on. We know jack shit. Can say it. I know jack shit. I know jack shit. I know jack shit. I need you motherfuckers to say this. I know jack shit. I am a little baby who knows jack shit about helicopter flying. One of the things I like to remember is that I have...
I think he got a little bit aggravated. Do me a favor, guys. If you all have Facebook still, I'm going to drop a link there. That's for my niece's softball team. You don't have to participate in it. It's a tip board on the on the Super Bowl. You don't have to participate in it, but if you wouldn't mind sharing it, I'll share it over on Facebook too. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, I would appreciate it. Just so it's a fundraiser, right? I think it pays out it's $10 a square. It pays out $50 every quarter. If you know how a tip board works, that's how it works. I'll drop it over in Facebook too. Just share the post, even if you don't gamble, you don't donate, you don't whatever. Just share the post. I'd appreciate it. If you still have a Facebook. Let me find this other video. I'm pretty sure I posted one last night. Where did I post it at? Here it is. This does a pretty good,
How did
like a
an
little
American
recreation.
Airlines plane and a Black Hawk helicopter end up in a tragic crash while the plane was attempting to land on runway 33? In the videos ahead, we'll take a closer look at the final hours leading up to the crash. The confusion between the PAT 25 VIP
There's plenty of proof for it.
military helicopter and the air traffic controller.
We've got the audio. We've got the flight records. We've got everything. To say that they did it on purpose, there's no proof for that.
And how the rescue operation is being carried out. More details all in the video ahead. The plane had departed from Wichita Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport in Kansas earlier that evening. A PSA Airlines aircraft operated under American Airlines and identified as Flight AA5342 collided midair with a military
Oh, I see. Yes, Trump fired the head of the FAA last week. Another day, another tragedy is what happens. Federal workforce gets. I don't know. I don't know that if this was like 6 months in, I probably make that argument. It just seems like it's way too close to his executive orders for him to be guilty of it.
Black Hawk helicopter at approximately 9 p.m.
I don't think it was DEI. I don't think it was the buyouts. I don't think it was the hiring freeze, because we're just too close to all those things still happening. I don't think those have affected the workforce in that way.
On Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. The tragic incident occurred as the plane was making its final approach toward Reagan Washington National Airport in Arlington, Virginia. American Airlines confirmed that 64 people were aboard the jet, 60 passengers and 4 crew members, while 3 soldiers were aboard the military helicopter. This plane's radio transponder stopped transmitting about 2,400 feet, which is around 730 meters short of the runway, roughly over the middle of the river. This has marked the first major U.S. commercial crash in more than 15 years. From an aerial perspective, it is evident that Flight AA5342 was approaching the airport from the south, descending over the scenic Potomac River.
Well, the acting head, there was no head at the time, was there?
This area is known for its proximity to several iconic landmarks, such as the Potomac River, which encircles the airport.
So this is the main runway. Maybe because the pilot was flying under visual rules, maybe he thought the plane was coming for the main runway, and he thought they were still further away. They weren't as close as they were.
And much of Arlington serves as a natural boundary and offers breathtaking views for arriving flights. However, this area is also densely trafficked, both by air and on the ground, adding to the complexity of air traffic management in the region. American Airlines Flight 5342, which we'll refer to as the landing flight, was on its final approach to runway 33.
So see how he's making this kind of bow out over the river? That's all documented. He's on literally the perfect path for all this. Like, his shit is documented. He wasn't out of place. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He wasn't extra low. He wasn't extra high. Like, he was doing it basically by the book.
At this stage, called short final, the aircraft was mere moments from landing, flying at an altitude of about 400 feet.
I don't think that the DEI stuff would have had that other person call in. They said that happens pretty regularly and has been for the last for months and months.
This is the most critical phase of landing, where every second counts.
I think the FAA wants 30 people staffing that place, and they usually run it with 19 or something.
And pilots are laser focused on safely bringing the plane down. At the same time, an Army Black Hawk helicopter, identified as PAT 25, was reportedly on a possible training flight. It was flying perpendicular to the flight path of
So they fly this route all the time over the Potomac.
Flight 5342.
And you can see them. They're probably doing some type of skill check or navigating to points or something, because they're being graded. They're being graded by the guy in the back. That's why they were 3. It's minimum crew is 2, obviously pilot, co-pilot. Usually, if you have a short crew, that'd be 4. That'd be pilot, co-pilot, and 2 crew chiefs. And then you can haul 11 packs. So it's 15 people on a Black Hawk. By the way, people are trying to say that Q predicted this because he said the word Apache 7 years ago in January. Close enough. What? They're not even similar. You seen an Apache and a Black Hawk?
Following the course of the Potomac River. The Potomac River is a designated flight corridor for helicopters, and it's common to see aircraft like this operating in the area. The key difference between the 2 aircraft in this scenario was their operating rules. The Black Hawk...
I have seen a bunch of people sharing pictures of like, I just flew out of D.C. and thought it was weird these helicopters were here. But I don't know that is. Like I said, it's on a corridor. As long as it's done safely, I think a knee-jerk reaction would be like, okay, helicopters are not allowed to operate anywhere on the Potomac, anywhere near the airport, blah, blah, blah. I think it could be done safely.
Helicopter Pat 25 was flying under visual flight rules. This means it was required to rely on visual observation of its surroundings to avoid other aircraft. The landing flight 5342 was operating under instrument flight rules, which give it priority over VFR flights in controlled airspace. This system assumes that VFR aircraft will actively maintain visual separation to avoid conflicts. Moments before the collision, the air traffic control tower at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport called Pat 25 to confirm whether they had the other aircraft in sight. Pat 25 responded that they did. At first glance, this seems like an acknowledgement that they were aware of Flight 5342's presence and were taking steps to avoid it. However, it now seems likely that Pat 25 had mistakenly identified a different aircraft, possibly a departing flight from the same airport. And
that's the departing flight we saw. That might have been the one they were looking at.
Believed that was the other aircraft referred to by the tower. Tragically, Pat 25 may not have realized that Flight 5342 was descending directly into its path. This misidentification could have led to the Black Hawk failing to adjust its course in time to avoid a collision. Although I'm not a pilot, this is what appears to have happened based on the available information. It's a heartbreaking incident that raises questions about how such misunderstandings can occur and what safety measures can prevent them in the future. If you have more insight or expertise...
DC plane crash. Audio. Air traffic control.
We're turning around some audio tape that we now have in our possession, and it is, let me just read to you what I have here. It is between Pat 25 and DCA Tower. It's the air traffic controllers who are apparently in conversations with the 2 aircraft as they are coming into this particular airspace. Obviously, Leland Biddert reported earlier to us that he learned that at the final...
It's definitely not a good look. It makes him look like shit that he cut this safety board. Elon Musk made the head of the FAA quit, that he did a hiring freeze and a buyout program, and then the first crash in, like 25 years or 15 years or some shit just happens. Mid-air collision.
Final approach, the American Airlines Flight 5342 was told to switch to a different runway, to runway 33, and the pilot said, we can do that. All right, we've got this audio. This is scanner audio.
That's just not going to happen. They shouldn't allow anyone to fly on the landing path. That's not going to happen. It's too congested not to use that path.
Of the air traffic controllers. I'm just going to play it for you. We've got this audio. This is scanner audio of the air traffic controllers. I'm just going to play it for you.
You got that CRJ in sight. You got that CRJ in sight. I know it's hard to understand.
So I'm just going to play it for you.
Pat 25, you got that CRJ in sight.
CRJ in sight. Pat 25, Pat 5 is CRJ. This club has an aircraft in sight for separation.
Yeah, I have the aircraft in sight requesting visual separation. Then he sees them get closer. That's all the air traffic controller, technically that's all he had to do. Unless he realizes that they're looking at the wrong plane or something, safety wise. If he believes that they see the flight and they're requesting visual separation and they're doing it, that's off him now. And he even asked him again though.
472 Washington Tower 1 star 32017. American 3130, go around, turn left in 250, claim maintain 3000.
So there's other planes. So he's saying go around, maintain 3,000. So he's gotten other planes as well, which is why the job is difficult. Multiple aircraft, congested area.
So again, that was audio.
Wait, there's more to it.
Pat 25, and I'm sorry, I can't tell you what Pat 25 means, but the DCA.
It's Thursday morning, the 30th of January. We now have a lot more information. My name's South of DC. The maximum altitude, not until you get Army Air.
He's got the air maps.
If we look closely at Route 1, the maximum altitude located right here is 200 feet.
So they were above a maximum altitude. They were at 300 feet when they struck.
And this route is to hug the eastern shoreline of the Potomac River. This route needs to be flown at or below 200 feet to stay below the arrivals into DCA. Not until you get below or south of the Wilson Bridge are you then allowed to
Okay, so once you pass the bridge, it jumps up to 300 feet.
climb to 300 feet, maximum altitude.
I don't think we're going to find anybody at blame here other than the helicopter pilots, which is sad. I mean, they still lost their lives too, but...
These are visual routes flown in visual or VFR conditions. This is very tight hemmed-in airspace, as you've got the prohibited areas of the White House and the Pentagon located right up here, and you've got the airspace of DCA Airport located right here. There's 3 runways at Washington, DCA. Runway 1 is the main runway, 7,169 feet long, and that's the runway that this RJ was originally lined up to land on. But at the request of ATC, the RJ was asked to come around and land on runway 33, the shorter runway at just 5,200 feet. This is a very demanding approach and very busy airspace. Not only do you got to stay within the tight constraints of the airspace, but the runways are short, so you got to get it right on the end of the runway, requiring all of your attention. The approach that the RJ was initially cleared for was the visual approach to runway 1, which looks like this, which brings you straight up the river to land on runway 1. Now with the RJ coming in from the south and then circling around to land on runway 33, that puts the RJ pretty much beak to beak with the helicopter, with the RJ above the helicopter. The problem is, and this has been reported by other helicopter Black Hawk pilots that have flown this exact route and have seen this exact scenario, the problem is going beak to beak at night, the lights of the RJ tend to blend in with the city lights behind you, even though the RJ is a little bit above the helicopter. Another problem when you're going head-to-head with each other is if there's no lateral movement in the windscreen, that light is very hard to detect. Now, eventually, the RJ has to make the left-hand turn to land on runway 33, and that puts the helicopter onto the right side of the RJ. Now, very late into this transition, the tower controller here at the airport asks the helicopter, do you have the RJ jet in sight? To which the helicopter responds, yes, we have the RJ in sight, request visual separation. That hands off the responsibility of the separation of these two aircraft to that of the helicopter pilot. The ATC asks the helicopter pilot to then pass behind the RJ, to which the helicopter responds affirmative, but instead he runs right into the RJ. Complicating things may be the use of night vision goggles. Pete Hegseth mentioned in his press briefing that night vision goggles were being used on this training flight.
But that's kind of part of it. Like, they have to train in fucking night vision goggles. I mean, you have to be qualified. We had to drive trucks in night vision goggles. You wouldn't think it's that big a difference, but it is. You have no peripheral vision. Anything lit up is fucking horrible and can make you not be able to see anything. Right? They suck, honestly.
Flight. It's believed that they were using the late model night vision goggles, these AN AVS 9 white phosphor goggles. The problem with these NVGs is that they restrict your peripheral vision, and it's harder to visualize the depth perception in these NVGs. And usually if a helicopter crew's on NVGs, both pilots would be on NVGs at the same time in case they actually are in the real goo and one pilot's NVGs has a problem, the other one can continue to fly the aircraft safely. So let's take a listen to the actual ATC audio and see how this played out. Please support Victor at VAS Aviation on Patreon, as he takes a lot of time, effort, and energy to get this ATC.
Let's do that. Hold on.
It's Thursday morning, the 30th of January. We now have a lot more.
When someone sent me this video,
I think he says VAS Aviation, yeah. Last radio, is that the one? No, audio of mid-air collision. Regional jet Blackhawk. Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree. It definitely looks bad, but you can take would if the guy would have the head of the FAA wouldn't have left due to pressure from Elon Musk, which I think is ridiculous because he's over fucking X2, right? Their fucking space program, and that's the reason he was harassing him. But whatever. Would he have prevented this crash? I don't think so. It wasn't like he had a big plan to like renovate how air traffic works over the Potomac River that he didn't get to implement. If the hiring freeze wasn't in place, maybe, I guess there's a chance, but they're claiming that the hiring freeze doesn't apply to air traffic controllers, and those air traffic controllers are like, we've been short-staffed for months and months and months. The buyout, I don't even think it's had enough time to take effect. They don't even decide at the end of this week. I don't know. I definitely think it looks bad, right? He's doing all this shit, gutting safety committees, buying out employees, doing hiring freezes, and we got 2 fucking crashes. Pat 25 is right here, okay? The regional jet is right here.
Tower 5342 on Mount Vernon, visual runway 1. Blue Streak 5342, Washington Tower 1 star 32017.
Blue Streak 5342 is the regional jet. Washington Tower winds at 320. Winds are 320 at 17, gust 25. Can you take runway 33? So he's calling him off the main runway and asked him to take runway 33.
Can you take runway 33? Yeah, we can do 33 for Blue Streak 5342. Blue Streak 5342, that's a Wilson Bridge tank.
And he's got another pilot there with him that they've already looked this up. They've already pre-planned this before they even took off. They know the runways they're going to be coming into. They probably know that they were destined for the main runway, but they've already talked about, they have the charts out if they have to get them out that shows what their approach is, where they're supposed to be. Plus their computer does it as well.
Change the curve, runway 33, clear to land. Yeah, we can do 33 for Blue Streak 5342. Blue Streak 5342, that's a Wilson Bridge tank.
As you cross the bridge, which that bridge is south of them, that's the one where the deck goes up to 300. As you cross the bridge, change to runway 33. Runway 33, clear to land.
Change the curve, runway 33.
By the way, another thing here is they're on different frequencies, right? The military operates in like a fucking super high band, and then the commercial flights are operating in a high band, just not as high.
Change to runway 33 for land, 5342. Jazz 789, 1 star 320 to 15.
Jazz 789, winds are 320 at 15, gust 25. Traffic 2 out, no delay, runway 1 cleared for takeoff. So he's got a guy taking off out of runway 1.
Gust 25, traffic 2 out, no delay, runway 1 for takeoff. Takeoff, runway 1, no delay.
All right, so he just come by. This is our 5342 back here, actually. Not the first one, it's the second one here.
Washington Tower, American 3130 with you, runway 1. American 3130, Washington Tower 1 star 31014, gust 25, runway 1 clear to land. Traffic may depart prior to arrival.
Traffic. So he's lining somebody up to land on runway 1 while also someone's fixing to take off. He's like, traffic may depart before you land.
Okay, clear to land, runway 1.
It's a busy, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
American 3130.
All right, so here are our runways. See, runway 1 is straight. Runway 33 is over here. And then this other runway is here. I don't know what they call that third one. We can zoom into the map and see. All right, so he's crossed this bridge is right here. He's crossed this bridge. He's already swinging out wide to get ready for... Oh, no, the bridge is right here. I'm sorry. The bridge is right here. He's already swinging out wide to get ready for runway 33. Pat 25 is still at the top of the screen. So we're looking at this dot. Skip the one over the airport and this dot.
Yeah, 789, contact don't mark today. Okay. American 3130, for the final. Well, American 3130. Pat 25, traffic just off the Wilson Bridge to CRJ is 1,200 feet, start runway 33.
So he tells him for sure, and these pilots should have been briefed on these airports, their runways, where they're at. They talk about them. They got the charts too. He tells him, Pat 25, traffic is south of the Woodrow Bridge. There's the bridge we were just looking at, and it is south of the bridge. A CRJ is 1,200 feet is its altitude and setting up for runway 33. So he knows he's coming into this runway.
Dispatch through. American 1630 Tower, runway 1, lot void. Traffic through Alpha, runway 33, dispatch 16 on final. Line up and wait, runway 1.
Line up and wait, runway 1. So that airplane's not going to be taking off, or it hasn't got clearance yet.
307, keep rolling out to November, ground 47 today. American 1630 1 star 32014, Gulf 25, traffic 2 mile left base, runway 33, no delay, runway 1 clear for immediate takeoff. Number 1, clear for takeoff, American 1630.
All right, so runway 1's cleared for takeoff now.
Pat 25, get the CRJ in flight.
Do you have that CRJ in sight? So he told him, south of the bridge, 1,200 feet, coming in runway 33 for final approach and landing, right? Then he says, do you have him in sight?
Pat 25, pass behind the CRJ.
Pass behind the CRJ. So he can tell, like, hey, they're obviously going to be close. He didn't even have to give him this direction, right? Usually when somebody's landing, you would pass behind them. It's kind of weird to shoot in front of them, right, where they're trying to land. That would probably make some people fucking pucker. But he doesn't even have to give them that direction. But he can probably tell they're going to be close. Why not clear it up some? Right? Pass behind them. We don't hear the military response in this, but we will in a second. Visual separation approved. So we didn't hear him call for visual separation right there, but that's what that was. Whatever he says, okay, or whatever he just said.
Pat 25, get the CRJ in flight. Pat 25, pass behind the CRJ.
Pass behind the CRJ.
2 separate. American 478.
I just don't know what the pilot was thinking. Was he thinking that for some reason they were going to keep going this way and he was passing behind? I don't know.
You by Pat now for individual. American 472, Washington, 1 star 32017. All right, there's the wind.
So now he's in panic mode. He's got to call everybody out.
American 3130, go around, turn left in 250, climb maintain 3000. You're left in 350, 3000, American 3130.
So he's calling everyone off. Everybody's going to be sent somewhere else. Or at least he's going to put them in a holding pattern. And he's going to start calling out all the safety stuff, right? They basically get everything down on the ground, nothing moving, open up all the runways to the fire trucks, because the fire trucks have to have permission to taxi and runway and shit as well.
37 is on final. Request runway 33, circle to 33. Second heading from American 3130. American 3130, go around, turn left in 2705, maintain 3000.
All right, let's go back. That was one. Last radio from Army helicopter.
Yeah, 79, contact don't mark today. Okay. American 3130, slow the final. Well, American 3130. Pat 25, traffic just off the Wilson Bridge to CRJ is 1,200 feet, circle runway 33.
There's the first one. We have the traffic in sight requesting visual separation. That's the first one. He's saying, I see it. We're requesting visual separation.
Dispatch through. American 1630 Tower, runway 1, lot void, traffic through Alpha, runway 33, dispatch 16 on final. Runway 1. Whiskey 5307, keep rolling out to November, ground 47 today. American 1630 1 star 32014, Gulf 25, traffic 2 mile left base, runway 33, no delay, runway 1 clear for immediate takeoff. Number 1, clear for takeoff, American 1630. 25, CRJ.
You heard the conflict alert going off. So he has an automatic alert that goes off when it looks like two planes are going to be near each other, too close to each other, are headed for certain paths, because the flight paths are basically predicted. They can tell where the planes are fucking headed to. So the conflict alert went off, and he asked him again, do you have him in sight?
You take off. Number 1, clear for takeoff, American 1630. Pat 25, CRJ in sight. Pat 25, pass behind this CRJ. This club has an aircraft in sight, request visual separation.
Pat 25 has the aircraft in sight, request visual separation. That's the second time he said, we see them, we're going to miss them. And approval for it.
American 4782 by Pat, now for visual. American 472, Washington, 1 star, 32017. Alright, this is wind.
Damn.
Did you see that? 472. American 3130, go around, turn left in 250, climb maintain 3000. You're left in 350, 3000, American 3130. Tower, boost streak, 5347 is on final. Request runway 33, circle to 33. Second heading to American 3130. American 3130, go around, turn left in 270, climb maintain 3000.
He's just sending everybody on a go around in a direction and at 3,000 feet, right? Because he doesn't know, are there pieces laying on the runway? How close do they get? Are they in the river? Like, he's still trying to figure it out. So everybody's just getting diverted. They wanted to get down quick, but
270 on the heading, 3000, American 3130. American.
Crash, crash, crash. This is alert 3. Crash, crash, crash. This is alert 3. Crash, crash, crash. This is alert 3.
that's the internal radio comms. He's telling everybody at the airport.
Oh, shit.
I don't think they released it. I think it was leaked or maybe even pulled off a scanner. I don't think they released it. TCAS avoided collision with Army helicopter over Potomac. The TCAS is traffic collision avoidance system.
Pat 1, roger, and Pat 1, wind calm, watch out, number 2970.
We got Pat 11 here.
And Pat 11,
This is the airport right here, these three lines. See the three runways that are in a weird triangle?
it's going to be approaching Cabin John, continuing down the river, it's going to be a southwest 3,500, descending, landing runway 1. Request visual separation, Pat 11.
Mid-air crash. The day after. So the day before this happened with Pat 11 and the CRJ 700, JIA 5608.
Southwest 3565 on the RMP 019. Southwest
Oh, maybe it wasn't that plane.
565 Washington, Tower, runway 19, clear to land traffic would depart, continue to reduce the final approach speed. Additional traffic is going to be a helicopter over Memorial Bridge, DFR northwest down 200 feet. They have you on site, maintain a bit of separation as they continue up the river. And Southwest 3565 copies all. Brickyard 4385, maintain bit of separation, starting company in the upwind traffic will follow you visually. Traffic 4 mile final way, 19, clear for takeoff. Takeoff 19, maintain visual, Brickyard 4385. American 365, watch out. See the lure around the corner, runway 19, line up, wait, advise you of the inbound sight, 10, maintain bit of separation, traffic 4 mile final. 19, line up, wait, number American 365. And Southwest 3565, in addition to that helicopter traffic.
3565, maybe the one that they're going to get close to. In addition to helicopter traffic departing 19, traffic will hold on position on 19 for you.
19, traffic will hold in position 15 for you. Southwest 3565, copy. Tomorrow. Pat 1, watch out, roger. Maintain visual separation, southwest off your nose. Maintain, Pat 1. Brickyard 44.
Maintain visual separation, he's off your nose. I can't believe this happened the day before.
2, best forward speed down the river again. 3 parks to follow you visually, contact Stone Park.
Best forward speed down the river and over to Park Street, 4492.
American 365, maintain this fresh running inverter in the upwind. Traffic approaching a 2.5-mile final for your runway as well. Runway 19er, clear for takeoff.
19, clear for takeoff, maintain business operation, American 335.
Brickyard 4385, traffic your call is indicating 180 knots, and again, American follows you visually, contact Stone Park.
Look how close they are right there. Damn, dude. This is the day before the crash.
Right, and Richard Park Street, 4385, Richard left. Breakout 4514, Hanover, Brazil 19.
4514, watch out. Reduce the final approach speed. Runway 19er, clear to land. Traffic will depart. Additional traffic is a helicopter over Georgetown, northbound, 300 feet.
Alright, slowing it down, final approach speed 19, clear to land, breakout 4514, left for driver.
Roger, Pat 1 traffic 2 miles north of your position. Embraer 1900, descending, landing runway 19er.
Damn, they were close, dude. He's following the route, but damn.
Tower, Rick, 4495 is a river visual 19.
How close is he going to get to this guy? They're at much different altitudes. There you go. That's the crash avoidance right there. Just went off. See the CA by his name? That's the same thing they would see. CA on both their names, or one of their names, or probably both.
Fabric Air 4495, Revisual 19. We got 4495, Washington Tower, runway 19, clear to land, traffic departure.
And you can hear it going off. Hear the beeper?
19, clear to land, Air 4495.
American 365, plus 14, contact home departure. Good day.
Departure American 365.
Blue Street 5384, the winds are showing 160 at 3, runway 15.
There's a better altitude separation there, but that first one was probably pretty close.
We had a RA, but 4514 is going around.
That big 4514, so would you like to go around the pier? So you're going around, so go around. Turn right heading 250, climb maintain 3000.
250, climb maintain 3000, break out 4514.
3565, turn right, would you like to...
We had a RA, but 4514 is going around.
That big 4514, so would you like to go around the pier? So you're going around, so go around. Turn right heading 250, climb maintain 3000.
250, climb maintain 3000, break out 4514.
3565, turn right, taxi, Foxtrot right on Juliet, ground point 7.
Right Fox, right Juliet, ground point 7, so 25.
So an RA... Let me look, because I can't remember. I think it's resolution. Hold on. An RA is a resolution advisory. Okay? So when their crash alert system goes off, it's going to tell them to do something. Right? A resolution. Pull up, ascend, descend, adjust speed, something. So he says, hey, this is me. Tower, this is me. We had an RA. We're going to need a go around. So apparently... His avoidance system told him that they were going to crash and told him to pull up, right? He was no longer on the approach anymore. Told him to pull up. He did, and that got him on that made him go around. He's going to miss the landing. Tower, we had an RA. Brickyard 4541 is going around.
14 is going around.
That big 4514, so would you like to go around the pier? So you're going around, so go around. Turn right heading 250, climb maintain 3000.
250, climb maintain 3000, break out 4514.
3565, turn right, taxi, Foxtrot right on Juliet, ground point 7.
Right Fox, right Juliet, ground point 7, so 25.
That's too close, right? When you're not coming in for a landing, like you're not even close to runway yet, and your shit's going off that you're going to hit somebody in midair, and it's giving you resolutions like, hey, you need to fucking pull up, pull up, pull up.
Figure 4514, we'll try it again with Potomac on 124.7.
124.7, Figure 4514.
All right, let's go back to this video.
The communications down
and
overlaid on a proper radar animation.
Tower 6342 on that visual runway 1.
Okay, there's the initial call up from Blue Street 5342. He's on the visual for runway 1, and then the tower asks him to transition to run on the blur at Hat 25, where the controller is going to rely upon the altitude difference of the of just a couple hundred feet between these two aircraft to maintain separation. And the controller is also going to rely on the helicopter to maintain visual separation from the RJ. Now let's check out Victor's most recent video here, where he's done an excellent job of overlaying this over the helicopter route map. Here you can see the Route 1 that Pat 25 is flying.
Good day. Okay. American 7134 to final. Well, American 3130. Pat 25, traffic just off the Wilson Bridge to CRJ is 1,200 feet, circle runway 33.
That's their altitude beside them, right? So this guy just got up to 2,000 feet. This guy's at 1,100. This guy's at 300. This altitude beside him.
American 1635 runway.
But he's supposed to be at 2, not 3. Not 003. He's supposed to be at 002.
Runway 33, this is 161 final. American 1631.
There, he's at 200 now.
3214, up to 5, traffic 2 mile left.
This guy's at 8, 7.
Number 1, clear for takeoff, American 1630.
6. I'm pretty sure Pat 25 hits 3 again. There it is. He's back up to 300 feet. He's back up to 300 feet now. His max is 200.
American 472, my bad now for individual. American 472, watch star 1 star 32017.
Now they're both at 300.
As we look at these two targets merge, check out the altitude. Pat 25 at 200 feet, as finally 400 feet. Pat 25 still at 300 feet. In the collision, Eagle, but has the call sign of Blue Streak. But picking up Boyd. So a lot of holes in the classic Swiss cheese model of accident investigations that the NTSB will be reviewing, including the runway change from runway 1 to runway 33, which put these two aircraft on a more tighter collision course, the altitude control of the helicopter on his training flight getting above 200 feet right directly into the way of the airliner, the possible use of night vision goggles, if that was a factor that could certainly limit your situational awareness and your ability to see and avoid visually, the late call out by the air traffic control tower to the helicopter asking him if he sees the RJ in sight after the air traffic controller got the collision avoidance warning there in his cab, the fact that night visual approaches, trying to see and avoid, that the lights of the aircraft, especially if they're oncoming directly to you, tend to blend in with the lights of the...
I love the NTSB reports, the FAA reports. They're so in detail.
City behind you, flying C-130s up at the Reno National Guard for years. Coming into Reno, it was very difficult to see your formation partner aircraft.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. They were under white phosphorus night vision goggles. You have no peripheral vision. It's a little bit harder to tell depth. The big thing is peripheral vision.
In front of you, as they would tend to blend in.
Well, I guess this guy's saying, you know, the lights from the helicopter or the lights from the airplane may have blended in with the city lights. But I don't see that, especially if they're looking up. But they were at 200, looking up to 300 to see this plane. I think they were looking at the wrong plane completely.
Into those city lights. The separate frequencies that the two different aircraft were operating on, giving you only half of the situational awareness that you would normally have if you could hear both sides of the conversation. And finally, the limits of TCAS, traffic collision avoidance systems, with the present technology, where resolution advisories are disabled below 1,000 feet to avoid sending one aircraft into a descending RA into the ground, plus the limitation of no aural warnings from the TCAS below 500 feet. All these things are going to be looked at closely in this investigation. Thank you so much for your support of this channel, especially the folks over on Patreon that make this content possible. See you here.
And then we had one today, right? Was it in Philly? Is that what you guys said? I just saw people talking about it. Philadelphia today. Northwest Philadelphia. Damn. Whoa, that come down like a fucking rocket, dude. It fell out of the sky. Look at it. It's like a fucking meteor.
Would. I want to play some of the sound because we've been looking at pictures in the upper left-hand corner. This is shortly after the crash.
Damn.
But I want to play some sound of the people who kind of came by, the witnesses, and what it looked and felt like shortly after the crash. Watch this. Did she witness it, Lindy Lee?
It's even got like a streak, like it's got a streak with it. Yeah, they'll go to like how they slept that night, what hotel they stayed in, what they had for breakfast, what the pre-flight checklist and the small talk they made in between it. They're talking about football, or they're talking about gambling, or they're talking about fucking Elon Musk. They go through everything.
Oh my God.
You just hear everybody say, get down, get down, get down. And when everybody say get down, we all get down. But I just see the plane is getting lower and lower and lower.
I have no idea, but I would doubt it.
Boom! And into the plaza, into the
Seems like something failed on the plane.
So another plane crash, this time in Philadelphia. A Learjet with a half a dozen people on board, crashing into a bustling part of the city. Good evening on this late Friday. I'm Mike Marza. The images we're getting of this crash.
It had to be some type of failure, right?
Dramatic and frankly hard to believe. Both the mayor and the governor of Pennsylvania rushing to that scene and addressing the media a short time ago. Our Josh Eininger, who was on the way home after covering that mid-air collision in Washington, is now there in Philly with what we are seeing and hearing tonight. Josh.
Mike, it's an apocalyptic scene, just maybe a couple blocks in from where that police car is here. This is Roosevelt Boulevard here in Northeast Philadelphia, if you're familiar with Philly. We do know that of the people on that plane, it was a medical transport.
Out of the blue, the world turned white.
Just lit up the whole sky. Literally lit up the whole sky. Like it was daytime out here.
A massive explosion rocks Northeast Philadelphia tonight. A private jet slamming into a densely populated neighborhood near a shopping mall.
Everybody say, get down, get down, get down. But I just see the plane is getting lower and lower and lower. It nipped the house. When it nipped the house, it hit a couple cars. Boom!
The plane, a 43-year-old Learjet, is an air ambulance owned by a company called Jet Rescue, which says 6 people were aboard, including 4 crew, a pediatric patient, and an escort.
I've never seen nothing like that a day in my life. I have never seen nothing like that. You got dead bodies over there, cars burnt up.
It had just taken off from nearby Northeast Philadelphia Airport, bound for Missouri, when it fell from the sky, spraying burning jet fuel everywhere. Cars, houses, people on fire.
As of right now, we have no reports on the number.
God, there's so much fuel on one when they crash so close to takeoff.
Of fatalities. So right now, we're just asking for prayers for any and everyone who may have been affected.
We have new information from a local children's hospital called Shriners Children's Hospital, which reported that the pediatric patient on that flight was a little girl who had been treated here for a medical condition and was on her way home to Mexico with an escort. There were 4 other crew members on that flight, 2 pilots, we presume, and then 2 medical personnel to assist with the transport. Again, we don't know the status of the
There's a bunch of views of it.
Oh my God! Is this on video?
And you're now watching Action News at 11. Our breaking coverage continues tonight on that.
This is just for 25 minutes ago. Let's see what they update.
After 6 o'clock. We know tonight 6 individuals have lost their lives.
I'm Shari Williams alongside Bray Hall. Thank you for joining us and being here with us in this continuing breaking news coverage. We've been on the air now since about 7:15 this evening, here live on the air. The crash itself, though, was reported shortly after 6 o'clock. Let's bring you up to speed as to everything we have learned so far this evening. It was shortly after 6 o'clock when this Learjet 55, it crashed after departing from the Northeast Philadelphia airport. We're told that there were 6 people on board this Learjet. The plane was en route to Springfield Branson National Airport in Missouri. This was a medical assignment tonight. This was a jet being used as an air ambulance. We now know that on board was a pediatric patient being taken care of by Shriners Hospital of Philadelphia. We also know on board with that pediatric patient was the mother of that child. Those 2, the mother and the child, were being transported.
Saying that, so the reason that the reason most people think they had the FAA quit was because Elon Musk was hounding him publicly on Twitter, saying, basically blaming him for all of his shit with his rockets. Too much red tape, and want us to do this, and if it's people like him, we'll never go to Mars.
Back to their home country of Mexico. That was the ultimate destination. Maybe Missouri was going to be a part of their journey as they make their way down to Mexico. Shriners Children putting out a statement just in the last 25, 30 minutes, and it reads in part that Shriners Children is heartbroken to confirm that one of our privacy and concerns, they're not saying more about the patient's identity or the patient's family. That, of course, is understandable. But this lets us know that these families that were impacted by the crash are being notified, and next of kin is being notified of the crash.
Not a great time to go flying, guys.
Tonight. Their statement goes on to say, our hearts and prayers go out to the families of the medical crew and pilots who were also lost in this tragic.
I've listened to Elon lie about so much shit around his fucking rockets and shit, dude. You know, they do like this deluge of water. And it's basically on the launch pad. And it is technically clean water until it touches the fucking launch pad, right? Then there's fucking jet fuel and shit. And he's like, we have to have a permit and pay this fee and this fine. And we didn't pay it for putting clean water in the desert. But it's not clean water. Like, Okay, let's say you have a perfect takeoff. Nothing goes wrong. There's no leaks. There's nothing that happens. No gases hit the water. Nothing happens, right? It's just, but how often does that fucking happen, right? He's mad because he's polluting the fucking area around. He should just got the permits. Like everybody else has to get the fucking permits to dump thousands, tens of thousands of gallons of water into the fucking ground.
Event.
He just fucking lies about everything.
Around tonight that we're getting confirmation about. Temple Jeans Hospital saying that it received 6 patients. 3, we've learned, have been released. 3 are said to be in fair condition tonight. And as we talk about this tragedy, let's talk about the distance of the airport. About 4 miles away from where it went down. We know this plane was in the air for about 30 seconds before it went down. So it was in the air a short amount of time. We know something horribly went wrong. Exactly what that was, we don't know, but we know investigators will begin their investigation, and it will take some time before we know that. Action News reporter Annie McCormick, she's been live for us at Northeast Philadelphia Airport, covering the situation there and talking to her sources. Annie, what are you hearing more about this breaking situation?
Yeah, well, Greg, we do know that jet rescue air ambulance did take off from runway 24 here at Northeast Airport just after 6 o'clock and was only in the air for a very brief amount of time. The company saying that the crash happened at about 25.
What if they called a mayday or anything? I mean, I guess he could have stalled it.
Past 6. That is when
bird strike, maybe.
The crash
losing engines.
6 people on board, including that young patient, the patient's mother, a patient of Shriner Hospital, and also the medic staff on board and the pilots as well. We can tell you that when we arrived here, we were able to see a number of federal investigators responding. Governor Shapiro did confirm that 4 investigators from the FAA and 4 from the NTSB were dispatched out here. We saw them load up. There seemed to be a meeting inside, and then they took off presumably to go to the crash site. And there's a couple things that they're going to be looking at, as with any crash. They're going to be looking at weather conditions. Those in the aviation community have explained to me that these types of jets do have different instruments that are able to be used in weather conditions that might be a little bit rougher than a warble plane. It depends on the type of instruments, but because this is a medic jet, they have those instruments that may not be.
It's a twin engine. The engines are mounted to the fuselage, like rear mounted, like near the tailpiece, basically. Learjet 55.
Too much of a problem for them. They're going to be looking at a number of other things, including the transmissions. You heard the aviation expert talk about that. You also heard him talk about how he anticipated that the plane was supposed to make a left turn and it did not. They're going to be looking at the fuel. I'm told that already tonight, shortly after the crash occurred, that they were checking the fuel out here. One of the things they were checking to see whether or not any water, maybe from the inclement weather, got into that fuel. That's one thing I'm told is protocol when this all happens. The other thing that many people are curious about is with the engine. Was this an engine failure situation? There is still so much to go through.
Hold on.
I've always been an active person, biking, running, but yoga, it's really special to me. It's definitely a big part of who I am, and I love
I get it. You like yoga.
There was a time not long ago when I felt I had to accept the idea of hanging up this old
ad is 3 minutes to listen to a 2-minute video.
obstructive HCM, which left me so short of breath.
What's up, pinup doll?
Get out here, making me feel like a bystander in my own life. So
I'm trying to see.
Cardiologist, and he told me about Camzyos.
They apparently got audio from it too.
By targeting what's causing my obstructive HCM. So he prescribed it, and I'm so thankful he did.
Camzyos is used to treat adults with symptomatic obstructive HCM. Camzyos may improve your symptoms and ability to be active.
HCM.
Camzyos may cause serious side effects, including heart failure that can lead to death, a risk that's increased if you develop a serious infection or irregular heartbeat or when taking certain other medicines. So do not stop, start, or change medicines or the dose without telling your healthcare provider. You must have echocardiograms before and during treatment.
Jesus Christ, dude. Roll up your yoga mat and go home. I just want to hear this video.
For a restricted program. Before taking Camzyos, tell your doctor about all of your medical conditions.
Whatever. Camzyos my ass.
Including current or planned.
Stop it.
Pregnancy.
With Camzyos reducing my symptoms, I've gone from
won't even let me mute the motherfucker.
being back in the game.
My name is Stephanie, and this is my Camzyos.
Stephanie, I wish you were on one of those planes.
Call your cardiologist today and see if a Camzyos moment may be in your future too.
So this started around 6 o'clock. FlightAware shows that the plane took off from Northeast Philadelphia Airport 6:06. About 3 seconds later, there
wasn't worth it.
Record of its movement. So it was about 30 seconds in the air. But look at the flight path. This is on your screen. Look at the green line. That shows how far the plane made it. The plane made it about 1,600 feet in the air. We also have recordings from air traffic control from the moment the plane took off. Listen to this initial communication.
Medevac, mid-service 056, on departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff, wind 25010.
That's when the plane was preparing for departure. Next clip that you're going to hear is when the plane was cleared for takeoff.
Okay.
Medevac, mid-service 056, affirmative. On departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff.
And
clear for takeoff.
That air traffic control makes contact with the plane on departure, and then you'll hear the pilot respond.
Medevac Med Service 056, contact Philly departure 123.8.
123.8, Mike Tango Sierra 056 Medevac. Thank you, good day.
Everything seems smooth. After takeoff, air traffic control tries to make contact with the pilot again, though. You will hear they get no response from the Medevac Med Service.
Medevac Med Service Northeast Tower. Medevac Med Service 056 Northeast Tower. You on frequency?
Medevac Mike Tango Sierra 056 Northeast Tower. How do you hear this transmission?
And there are even a few more attempts from air traffic control to make contact with the plane. Next, you'll hear air traffic control refer to the plane as a lost aircraft.
Approach to runway 24. What's going on down there? Position 765. We have a lost aircraft.
Does anybody ever hear a medicine ad and then go and ask their doctor about it?
We're not exactly sure what happened, so we're trying to figure it out.
I saw an ad when I worked at CSX. I saw an ad for CSX one time, and I'm thinking, who the fuck are they trying to reach with an ad for CSX railroads? Like, it's not the average fucking person, right? Or you can't just be like, yeah, I'll take one of your coal cars. I just need 1/1000th of the space. I don't know.
For now, the field is going to be closed, so no inbounds or outbounds probably.
So air traffic control grounded all flights, no flight.
Shelter open, city-state leaders working together. Shriners Children's Philadelphia confirms patient was on board medical jet that crashed in Philly. Safety of Learjet 55s. Video captures. We got most of the rest of it.
Of course, officials on all levels are coming together tonight to work on this. Mayor Sherrell Parker said this a short time ago.
Let me start by thanking each of you for being here. I want to go through some basic facts about what we know for certain right now. An aircraft went down in the vicinity of Roosevelt Mall on Cottman Avenue. This occurred shortly after 6 p.m. this evening. As of right now, we have no reports on the number of fatalities. So right now, we're just asking for prayers for any and everyone who may have been affected.
It says that Learjet 55 has redundant hydraulic systems, right? So it's got two different sets of hydraulic systems running flaps and shit.
We do want to note that several dwellings and vehicles were impacted. So what are we asking you to do for us right now, Philadelphia? We're urging you to please stay away from the scene. If you see debris, call 911. Don't touch anything. This is still an active scene under investigation. I'm proud to note that all of our federal and state partners, they are either en route here or on the ground with us right now. We did see some neighbors who live in the surrounding community. Just stay in your home. Again, it's still an active scene and it's under investigation. This is only the first of many briefings, I'm sure.
All right, let's watch a crazy person. I don't know about anything about this one yet, but we'll see. Let's watch some crazy people. Here's one.
Bro, going through some of these TikTok comments and shit, man, I'm seeing people who listen to my music and they're like, man, we still love church, but we just don't understand why he's acting the way he's acting. Bro, I wish y'all could understand.
Watch a commercial, and then I guess I'm just not on that many medications. Watch a commercial, and then from that commercial, end up getting that medicine through your doctor. I guess when I get on medicine, the doctor's just like, you need some type of medicine for this. I'm like, well, what do you got? And they're like, this one.
You can't. There ain't enough time to understand, bro. Y'all have shit y'all have to do. Y'all could never stop. You would have to stop and understand my career.
Look how big those fucking pupils are, dude. You could never understand. You'd have to stop doing everything and understand my career from the very beginning. Why is he whispering?
From when I started to now and what I'm doing. Like, bro, since the beginning, I've told y'all I don't want to be mainstream at all. Bro, that's a problem at this level.
I honestly think he's a little bit hurt that Jelly Roll is so mainstream now.
That's a problem.
A little hurt in the pride.
Music documentaries and shit we see where during the time everyone thought the artist was crazy, this, that, and the other, and then something happened to him. And then 30 years later, there's a documentary comes out, and all of us that watch it are like, oh man, they lied about that guy. Dude, what do you think is going on?
This is a professional.
Bro, I can't help that the series of events that these people are doing.
He's like Trump.
Made to trick you. Like, yeah, they're fucking designed to make me look bad. They're designed to make me look like I'm arguing with everybody. When really I'm just replying to people, bro. I'm replying to what these motherfuckers are saying about me because that's what I'm supposed to do. What do you want me to do? Just sit here and fucking let them say whatever they want and paint me as whatever they want? Fuck no.
Yeah, he's made a couple mistakes. He would, if he wanted to be, he claims he doesn't want to be, and he did turn down a contract back in the day.
Just resubscribed for 16 months.
Thank you for the resubscription. 16 months. That's nothing to shake a stick at. Almost at a year and a half. Thank you. To be fair, he did turn down, like when I first followed him and shit, they offered him a contract. He said, fuck you. He went down there to talk to him just to kind of troll on him. Knew before he went in he wasn't signing a contract. Came with a contract, ripped it up, made a big scene about it. But since then, if he wanted to be mainstream, which he says he doesn't, he's just got too much baggage right now.
Have I changed a little bit? Well, fuck yeah. Dude, money makes people act crazy. We know that. It's in these other documentaries of these other fucking...
I wouldn't know.
They always say they're all on drugs.
I got crazy without the money.
They all this, they all that. They're all unhealthy. And during the time, people fucking believe it. I can't fucking help that. All I can do is fucking be here to tell you my...
Well, you just act and look and seem like you're on drugs all the time.
Besides the story, whether you believe it or not. And the truth is I've done gotten so big, and realistically, bro, like they look at it as like a threat of like the power in the word of what I've said, because I've always stuck to what I've said, and I've always like told y'all why things happen and show receipts and all this other shit. Like, bro, my credit is good. They're trying to make everyone think it's bad, because if my credit's good and I'm still not on the mainstream team and I'm getting bigger, the more of a problem it becomes. That shit's fucking real, bro. It is. If it wasn't, do you really think they'd be driving to my fucking house unannounced to talk to me about how much money I'm worth? What my opinion is about something on the internet? Bro, what the fuck do they not understand about rebellious and independent? From the start of my career to now, I've been pushing nothing but independence in the music industry, teaching it, showing people. When have I ever made a fucking person sign a contract that fucking held them in something? Never, bro. Never. I'm just helping motherfuckers for free. That's the problem. So what? So they have to run a discrediting campaign. And motherfuckers like, oh, you don't ever get out and do nothing or go to any of these events. No fucking shit. I fucking can't. When the rumor is in the fucking city that there's a fucking hit out on me and shit, do you really think I'm gonna be like, I'm in this lottie-dottie anywhere and fucking post it on Instagram? Well, fuck no. Hell no. I can't help that this is how the music industry is. It just is. And bro, y'all know me. Most time I chop my videos. I haven't chopped this video or stopped this video yet.
He seems way less crazy now. I'm on his side.
I've been talking for 4 fucking minutes. You know why there ain't no chops in it? Because, dude, this is something that I really know about. And don't have to sit around and fucking plan out what I'm gonna say. Bro, Spotify don't lie. Go look at the Spotify numbers. And look, I'm not claiming to be bigger than nobody. I'm not claiming to be better than nobody. I'm just claiming the fucking truth about why these motherfuckers are coming at me like they are. I mean, dude, what Jelly Roll say in that video? He said, Bubba, if you kind of click in and dial in with us, I can make sure all these people don't fuck with you. Bro, I don't care if anybody fucks with me. I don't care. Because I'm telling the fucking truth.
He doesn't even care.
The fucking truth about what's going on. People ain't stupid, bro. If they stop for it,
he might not even care about it, guys.
This and this is why I say it's like you're never going to understand, because you're at least going to have to take 20 minutes out of your fucking day to get on here and look at all the moves everyone's made. Once you do, it becomes very fucking clear, and you need about 20 minutes to do so.
Okay.
Real shit.
Real shit.
I didn't know I was going to get this big. I didn't know my catalog was going to be worth as much as it was. I didn't know the extent.
That'll be the next thing. They're trying to kill him so they can inherit his catalog.
For yourself fucking would make motherfuckers mad. But you know what? I still don't fucking care. Whether everybody unfollows me and fucking thinks I'm a crazy fucking motherfucker or not. Because that's what I'm here for. Bro, I don't care about being the best. I care about being the most resilient. That's what I care about. And I care about sticking to what the fuck I said 10 years ago when I started this music career. That's what I care about. My fucking word. Because your last name is only as good as your word. And my last name, I'm going to be leaving.
The wheezing is definitely an acquired taste.
It's going to be worth a fuck ton if you fucking count it out like that. That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. Next.
This fucking guy.
Thank you for your love and support towards my career. If you are a real fan of mine, please send me a friend request or inbox me for a conversation. It's a fake Ryan Upchurch account.
This fucking guy.
Which is funny.
Thank you for your love and support toward my career. If you are a real fan of mine, please send me a friend request or inbox me for more conversation. I'll get your ass on somewhere, motherfucker.
Let's get one thing very clear. I don't avoid conflict.
I don't know. Is this his actual channel? Is it official TikTok for Upchurch? HB Tennessee?
Jelly Roll is a hip hop artist that went country. You got to duet with him. Give me a Jelly Roll story, man.
I've heard of him before he ever got in the country industry because I was hanging out with I won't say his name, but some other guys that are in the same world that Jelly was in.
People won't even say his name. This guy was, when he was coming up, was hanging out with Upchurch doing fucking videos and shit with him.
Are you talking about the guy that went and pulled you out of the woods when you got lost in your own backyard 4 years ago? Are you talking about the guy you used to make Vine videos with before you were famous? Are you talking about the guy that you used to hang out with and party with every time you had success in your career? No, it can't be that guy, huh? Because he's not mainstream, so fuck him now? Or is it that some people on the internet said he's crazy, so now you can't be attached to your old friend? I mean, hell, bro, who needs enemies when they got friends like you, dude? That is exactly why I keep my circle small. Imagine
the guy's name's Kane Brown.
How it feels to be famous and like watch your friends sit there and fucking not acknowledge you after you've helped them countless times that are documented on the motherfucking internet, dude. Bro, dude, being a good guy to you is like a click away. I mean, come on, big dog. When you were lost in the woods, your record label didn't come save you. None of your Nashville friends came and saved you.
Jelly Roll is a hip hop.
Bro, going through some of these TikTok comments and shit.
Now you want to fucking hear, oh, you need a break from the internet. Anybody needs a break from the fucking internet, never had
It's the one I saw that one show you. This is it.
Real fucking job in their life. All these fucking
if you need a break from the internet, you've never had a real job in your real fucking life.
People think the internet is like so detrimental to them. Dude, that's because you ain't never worked in the summer fucking sandblasting motherfucking handrails or something. Always on this motherfucking internet crying, being like, oh man, I can't handle the hate. You ain't never been on a job site where motherfuckers crack on each other all day. You ain't this. I am this. The people that listen to this music are this.
Okay.
Why y'all all trying to press this narrative? Upchurch is mean.
He uses music in here so they can claim it, by the way.
Upchurch is a bully. Upchurch is on drugs. No, Upchurch is standing up for what the fuck is right. And it just so happens that these motherfuckers ain't.
Somebody in the vertical video earlier called me a chubby panda. Do I look like a chubby panda?
Part of it. And that's why they're fucking mad. And I don't want to hear, oh, he's falling off. Ain't nobody fucking falling off. Ain't none of these motherfuckers, not Jelly Roll, not fucking Adam Calhoun, not Demon Jones, not Broadnecks, not any of them got this far. You know who got me this far? The people that listen to this music and myself. I believed in myself, they believed in me, and I worked, and I got to where I am now. And ain't none of them fucking got to where we're at. Ain't none of them a fucking good example. I don't care. They're not. This is the farthest anybody has ever gotten in music being truly independent. I don't want to fucking, oh, he's independent and then had a bunch of help. No, I mean truly independent. Just me and the people. I could have signed a fucking piece of paper a long time ago to be played all over the fucking radio. I turned that shit down when I was pretty much broke. Do you know why? Because I had faith in myself, and I had faith in what I was saying, and I had faith in the people that was going to be listening to my music, and that's folks out in the country. When Jelly Roll and Adam's ass come to my fucking house, and they're trying to get me to fucking be in with their fucking clique that I don't want to fucking be no part of, what Jelly Roll told me, he said, Bubba, you know you're worth $151 million, right? Yeah, I do know that. But you know what? I don't care how much money I'm worth. And that's exactly what I told him. The fucking dollar amount don't fucking matter. My credit in the country and who I am in the country matters. And guess what? That's motherfucking
country credit.
What we've built together is...
That's how you know you got too much money. If you're like, $151 million doesn't matter. I want Bubba down the road to think I'm cool. Well, then you ain't struggling for shit, dude. Because I don't give a fuck what nobody thinks about me as long as I'm paying my goddamn bills.
There's something special, and they know that. They know that this is a story in music history that is one of one, and they don't like it. I don't want to be fucking Elvis. I don't want to be fucking Michael Jackson. I don't want to be fucking nobody except for Ryan fucking Upchurch. Look at how these motherfuckers are acting. I've helped.
But he's the one who said that he was the next Johnny Cash. He was just like Elvis. There's all these coincidences between him and Johnny Cash and Elvis, and he's going to be the next one.
Every single fucking one of them slitting my throat. When I started getting big money and all this other shit, it made family members act crazy, yeah, and they slit my throat too. And it doesn't matter. I keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. Because that's what you're supposed to do, is keep on going. The fucking world don't create warriors no more.
It says creeker. Creeker, because they're from the creeks.
It wants everybody to be sick and broke and frail and all this other bullshit. Not me. I'm going out exactly like this. And yeah, I done heard the rumors around Nashville. Oh, so-and-so said they're going to get so-and-so to jump you. Oh, so-and-so saying they'll pay this much for this to be done to you. I don't care. I ain't scared of none of y'all. Fuck y'all. You know why?
I don't believe that for a minute.
Because Nashville's got my fucking back. The outskirts got my fucking back. All of fucking Dixieland got my fucking back. And y'all done this shit to too many artists that was doing just like me in the past in this lane of music. And y'all ruined their career. You know why? Because they weren't at a point where they could stand up for themselves. I am. And for once in music history, there ain't somebody that's sitting here folding on everybody. I'm standing tall, and I'm gonna keep standing tall. Because if I fold and I give in and I bow down to this shit, then the rest of country rap and the country rap culture is fucked. And I ain't letting that happen.
He seems completely sane, normal, and drug-free to me.
Holler boys, motherfucker. And I don't want to fucking hear, oh, you need a break from...
I about missed that part.
And I know a lot of people are like,
oh, God.
Go. Fuck no, dude. No, I ain't letting it go. You know why? Because these motherfuckers are trying to get rid.
He was on meth one time doing videos, live videos, like 3 a.m., trying to convince people that he could control electricity with his mind. I'm not even making this up. At like 3 o'clock in the morning, he was doing live videos with one of those, I don't know if you guys have seen them, but they make these like rechargeable light bulbs. You can screw them into a lamp and they work, but also you can take them out and use like a remote or something with them and they work, or you can just touch the bottom of them and turn them on. And he's like, what the fuck do you mean a battery light bulb? There's no such thing. And people are like, no, clearly that's a battery light bulb with a button on the bottom. Nope, watch this. I just got to think about it. And he was legitimately for days try to convince people that he could control electricity with his mind. Then finally, people had to go out and disprove him and be like, I got the same light bulb. Here it is, blah, blah. Like 4 or 5 days later, and he's like, I did that as an experiment to see who in the chat has an open mind for open ideas. And the rest of you guys have a closed mind. And you'll never understand any of this.
Of the real country folks, to the extent where these motherfuckers like Adam Calhoun and all them, they're fucking getting these young fellers that don't have the business smarts to come sign these pieces of paper where they can't do.
Just as normal as the next meth head. Yeah.
It ain't because they're trying to fucking get them and build them up. They're trying to get them to fucking shelf them so you never hear them. Because
his meth just comes from a prescription bottle.
If you hear these young up-and-coming country rap dudes that are actually from the country, you won't listen to their fucking music because it ain't no comparison. These dudes can't write fucking songs like we can. They can't write a fucking Holler Boys. They don't even know what the fuck a Holler Boys feels like when you're on a fucking motorcycle. They will never know that feeling, and they don't care about the feeling.
What a Holler Boy feels like on a motorcycle. Who's riding in the front?
It's like when you're on a fucking motorcycle, they will never know that feeling. And they don't care about the feeling. They care about your fucking wallet. That's why Adam Calhoun preaches, oh, freedom of speech. And then what? He blocks freedom of speech of these country motherfuckers. And I know a lot of people are like, dude, let it go.
Makes sense.
It's time for the back.
Oh my God, dude.
To stand up and talk that shit because we deserve to. Country rap, the culture of country rap,
is next to rap.
Motherfuckers. Back in the beginning.
The song in the background is My Next to Red.
Ford, Big Smo, Young Gunner, the Lax, all the real ones. Notice they're all getting overshadowed by these new motherfuckers coming over here bringing nothing but dirty bitches, fucking drugs, and all this negative bullshit. And I know a lot of motherfuckers will be like, oh, you triggered, you mad? No, motherfucker, this is what the truth sounds like. You ain't never heard it before. All that scaring and gangster shit might fucking scare these fucking motherfuckers live in the city. Out here, it don't scare nobody. And let's not even get into the fucking bullshit y'all motherfuckers do behind the scenes, making fun of fucking redneck people, making fun of country folk, making fun of all these motherfuckers that live in the rural areas. Y'all make fun of them. But then right after y'all make fun of them, y'all go fucking, y'all sell them y'all's tickets and merch and everything and be like, woo, yeehaw, onions.
I do believe there's a bunch of people like that make their living off country, blue collar, but they're all fucking, right? They've never worked a job a day in their life.
If it ain't my dollar, that's a slap in the face to me because I'm somebody from out here, so I take offense to it. It's time for the backwoods redneck.
At least 6:30 a.m.
Motherfuckers trying to get rid of me. And
this must have been the first one that set it off. We've been through like 6 of these. They're all back to back to back to back to back.
Doing a shitty ass job of it. Y'all motherfuckers ain't nothing but a bunch of failed ass hood rappers. Thinking you finna get by fucking putting some boots on and saying, yeehaw, I love onions. This is why you motherfuckers chase my ass around. This is why you motherfuckers come to my fucking house unannounced.
It was, like, I'm not trying to get in like I'm more country than you, but it was just like a year and a half ago that I realized that I was pronouncing that word with a G in it.
Being like, hey man, can you not say that on the internet? Man, fuck y'all. I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want to say, and you ain't gonna do shit about it, motherfucker. See what you?
I heard myself say it, and I'm like, that's not right. That's not the vegetable I'm trying to say. That's not how other people say it.
Understand is you're underestimating the fucking listener of this kind of music. Right now, it's me versus 60 motherfucking random failed ass hood rappers. It ain't never gonna fucking work, bitches. If y'all wish the motherfucker would, it'd probably be Tractor Supply fucking city people would in a fucking plastic wrap. Y'all motherfuckers took your other costume off, went to Boot Barn, got a fucking ugly ass flannel, and thought everything was gonna be straight. Talking all that gangster shit. Rednecks don't give a fuck about gangster shit. We ain't eating boogers behind the president neither, motherfucker. Look at all these motherfuckers trying to get rid of me and doing a shitty ass job of it. Y'all motherfuckers ain't nothing but a bunch of
eating boogers behind the president. Onions? Yeah, there's no G in onions. I don't know why. I guess I grew up putting a G in it. I don't know. I can't say it. So it goes in the same box as oil, crude oil. Yeah, I can get it. No G in onions. All right, guys. I'm out for the night. I got to get home. My dog's not doing good. Me and Mariah's had a dog basically since we got married. He was a little over a year old then. He's like 17 years old, and he's probably gonna pass away. He's just too old. It's not worth. He's just slowing down. His breaths are getting slower. He's moving a lot less. He's about blind and deaf. He's been around for a long time, but it's still sad. My parents even had him for a long time too, and they both passed away recently. So I'm going to go home and tackle that, see how that turns out. But thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for being here. I'll be back tomorrow. I will be doing a stream tomorrow, but I probably won't be doing an evening stream on Sunday because we're taking Ollie out for his birthday. Tomorrow's his birthday, but we're doing everything on Sunday because they've got something with Mariah's mom tomorrow. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here, hanging out with me. I'm going to hop off here and I'll be back tomorrow. See you guys. Have a good night. Uh-oh. That's weird. Well, we were going to have music. Hold on. Reboots. Real good with this technology. I feel like Bert. Have a good night, guys.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the fork and balls to call.
He's just a mutt from the pound. When we got him, he was a little over a year old.
And tell them exactly who they are and tell them.
We lived in a place for a while where we couldn't have him.
You don't have a ball.
So my mom and dad kept him for like a few years.
Here we go, I think I started some shit.
His name's Gilligan.
Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up.
I'm hoping. He doesn't seem like he's suffering. I've got sedative for him and some pain relief for him. I'm hoping he just goes in his sleep, but we'll see how it turns out.
I'm a lunatic.
I've been with him all day today, laying on the floor with him, just hanging out.
Thanks for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk.
I doubted it, Suko.
Climbing up 5G towers cause you told him
You're full of broken promises.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit.
Frankly, I'm tired of it.
You know that stage is set. You better buckle up cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in them beds, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Opened his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine, with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Fucking stop. Dude, come on.
That's right. So long, Gilligan.